What's up, YouTube fans? We're back again with another Wednesday Night Live. I'm going to be going over the Kingdom cartoon on Netflix. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to kind of give you a little synopsis of it. So this is going to be a spoiler episode. So if you haven't seen it yet, then I would suggest when we get to that part, you either pause it or come back later and watch it later. But I'm interested in giving my feedback on the cartoon overall, the series, and then I want to hear from you on what you guys think of the show. So I have some administrative things I want to go over first. So coming this week, I will be taking a look at this guy here. This is the Kingdom Scorponok. I hate the look of these things, but whatever. We'll take a look at that for you Beast Wars fans, and then we'll also take a look at this weird thing, which is Wing Thing. Speaking of that, I'm going to be stopping reviews on the retail stuff. So stuff like this. This will be the last wave. I still have a few things left in this wave. I think I've got the Rhinox, and that might be it. So unless somebody sends me something like these deluxe class figures, even the Voyager class, the only thing I'm going to look at is Commander class. So Commander class are things like Jetfire, Skyfire, or Skylynx, or any of those bigger figures, bigger characters. I'll take a look at those. But otherwise, I won't be looking at these anymore unless somebody sends it to me. My regulars, they send me stuff all the time. If they want to, they can send me this stuff. I don't even know if it's worth it. But to be honest, I just don't get the views on these, and I'm not getting them early enough compared to some of the reviewers out there who are getting them really early. By the time I review it, it just doesn't get any views. So at this point, this will be the last wave, and then we'll move on to more Masterpiece style stuff. I'll continue to do these. This is the Gundam universe. So this is coming up as well. So we'll take a look at the next wave. This is the Char's Zaku suit. So we'll look at more stuff like that, Voltron stuff, but we are going to discontinue the deluxe class stuff. All right. Another thing is I have a podcast coming up. I'm going to be on somebody else's show. The show is called Struggle to Understand. Struggle, the word like struggling. Struggle to Understand. So that'll be next week, probably next week or the week after. So if you're on any podcast type of platforms, you can look up Struggle to Understand, and then you can find his episodes there. He's already interviewed Bobby Skullface and Pig for Life. So if you're interested, you can look those up and listen to those, and you can stay tuned for my interview on that channel. All right, let's get into Kingdom here. Oh, at the end of this episode, I want to mention one other thing. I am going to be doing the drawing for the giveaway for this. So you have until the end of this episode to enter on the drawing on my Facebook page if you want to win this for free. USA and Canada only. So if you're international, then you're going to have to pay shipping. But for USA and Canada, you get this for free. All you have to do is put a comment, and I'll pick a winner at the end of this episode, and then you'll win. So we'll take a look at that a little bit later. All right, so let's get into Kingdom. And somebody said, can I pan over and show you my collection a little? Sure. That's about the best I could do. So it goes all the way down that wall. It's kind of localized to right here. I don't have it anywhere else. Everything is sort of on that one wall. I've kind of kept it that way on purpose, just so it's out of the way. It doesn't get in my wife's way. It doesn't get in my kids' way. It's just on that wall, and that's it. All right. So let's get into Kingdom. I want to hear from you guys, too. I'm going to give you a little bit of synopsis. We are going to get into spoilers. So, again, if you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix right now. It's a 6-part series. So each episode's about 25 minutes. If you take out the opening credits and you take out the credits at the end, it's probably around 20 minutes. So 20 times 6 episodes, it's about 2 hours of watching for you. So about a feature-length movie length overall. So we start in episode 1. Episode 1 shows both the Decepticons and Autobots crash landing, which presumably on Earth. And both of their ships crash in different locations on the planet, and they're kind of scattered. And they discover the Predacons and the Maximals already on the planet. And so that's our first introduction, kind of in episode 2. Episode 1/episode 2, we started introduced to these characters, and we get the melding between G1 and between Beast Wars. So really the first time I've seen something like that, where you really got a good mix of the characters talking to each other, working together. Episode 2, Megatron acquires a couple of things. So he ends up with the golden disc, and he ends up with the Matrix. And because of those, he's able to help locate the Allspark. So the Allspark is basically the crux of the story in this entire 6-episode season. So he's after the Allspark, and Optimus after the Allspark. Everybody's kind of trying to find it, and he finds those two things that help him, track down the Allspark. Episode 3, the Autobots and Decepticons kind of close in on the Allspark, and the Allspark launches its own defense system, and basically everybody gets put into like this alternate reality. There's all sorts of illusions and all sorts of weird stuff going on. People are seeing things, hearing things, seeing dead, passed away Transformers, just seeing their spark. There is actually a real spark, which is Dinobot. So if you haven't seen it, Dinobot does die in the episode, but then he comes back as a real spark, not one of these projections from the Allspark. Episode 4, Megatron continues to use the golden disc, and he guides his actions. He got the golden disc from himself, basically, right? He got it from Galvatron. Galvatron gave him golden disc and told him kind of what to do. So he tracks down, Optimus and the Allspark, and threatens to, basically destroy everything. Then episode 5, the Autobots and Maximals work together to relaunch the Ark. So the Ark is crashed on the planet, and they're trying to launch it. And what you find is the Allspark has converted the Ark, which I have back here behind me, into a robot, which is really cool. That's the first time we've seen something like that. It did sort of change the storyline, but they converted the Ark into the robot, and that sort of saved the day. The Nemesis ship was actually attacking, and it was just about to take down their whole Ark and all the Autobots when it transformed and helped them. And finally, episode 6, everything comes together. The past, the present, and the future, they all collide. They are back on Cybertron, and they have a final showdown for the Allspark. Ultimately, the Autobots and the Decepticons work together to beat Megatron and Cyclonus and Nemesis Prime, who were both converted by Unicron. We don't see much of Unicron here, so there's a lot of question about, is there going to be another episode? I'm going to give you a couple images here. So here's the Maximals that showed up in the cartoon. There was some crossover there. Here's Megatron with the Matrix, and along with the Beast Wars Megatron, and Soundwave helping them, of course. And that was interesting to see, kind of the crossover between them. Here are the two ships, the Nemesis and the Ark, and they did have a battle, and the Ark did win after transforming into the robot here. So that was cool. And then finally, we see Galvatron and Nemesis Prime, the two bad guys who are converted by Unicron. So the series kind of ends open-ended. It looks like we're going to get either another cartoon or a movie or something that's going to feature Unicron. And it appears they're going to be transformed once again. So these two characters here, Nemesis Prime and Galvatron, are supposedly converted once more. Me personally, I think it's going to be Headmasters. I think they are going to become the bad guys. So my guess, this is a total guess, this is sort of speculation. I think Galvatron will probably become Zarak, because we haven't seen the Black Zarak figure yet. Even though the figure's coming out, we haven't seen the character. So my guess is he becomes Zarak, Nemesis becomes a different bad guy, and we have another cartoon. So that's really everything that happened in the show. So I'm interested to hear from you guys what you guys thought. I see you guys already have lots of comments in there. Let me just give my thoughts personally. So positives, the Beast Wars and G1 crossover was really interesting. I thought that was a good thing for them to do. They definitely added another dimension and aspect. The time travel also was really cool. The fact that they were traveling back and forth and the Beast Wars characters were from the future, that was kind of neat. And they were from an alternate future where the Allspark didn't exist. I thought that was a good aspect. The animation and sound effects were really good. They were really well done. If you watched it on TV, it actually looked a little bit better and sharper than it did on the phone. I watched it on my phone. It might be your devices. Maybe it's my device kind of sucks. But on the phone, there was a lot of dark scenes, and it wasn't easy to see. But on TV, it was really bright, and the effects were really easy to see. Negatives wise, so let's talk about that. There was only 6 episodes, 20 minutes each, very limited time frame. So with that kind of time frame, you got to squeeze everything in. It's going to be tough, right? You're going to have a tough time getting all the characters squeezed in. Just as an example, Trax didn't appear in the show. And I just reviewed this earlier today, or that's not Trax. This guy did appear in the show, Scorponok, but Trax didn't appear in the show, but yet they made a Trax character for Kingdom. So that's kind of interesting that they've made a bunch of characters that didn't show up. So having only 6 episodes, they had to move quickly. They had to skip some stuff, unfortunately. They also, some of the characters didn't get a chance to develop and just didn't appear. The voice acting is still needs improvement. It was really suffering, especially Optimus Prime and Nemesis Prime. They just were so slow. That really deterred me from enjoying it. Now, on the phone platform, you could actually put it at 1.5 speed, so you could speed up Optimus's voice and just get out of it. But on the TV platform, at least on my TV, you couldn't speed it up, so you had to watch it at regular speed. So you could probably avoid that if you watched it on the phone. So that's my feelings. Now let me get your guys' thoughts on the show. I'm going to kind of go back here because I missed a lot. Wow. Looks at animated. Oh, yeah. So, okay. I guess in G1, he never became a robot. I didn't really watch animated, so I'm not aware if he became a robot. But in G1, he never became a robot, and we never even thought he was a robot. So, sorry about that. Let's see. What else do you guys got? Grimlock says, I would love to see the Nemesis transform. Yeah, me too. We didn't get much of Nemesis. There was very, very little character building on Nemesis. I hope they do more with that character in the next arc, whatever they do. BB03 says, it's definitely not overlooking back at the upcoming toy listings headed into the Unicron trilogy. Yeah, I think they're headed into the Unicron trilogy as well. I'll be excited to see that. Mariano Chocon says, Masters of the Universe Revelation is so much better than the series. I actually agree with that. I'm not a huge He-Man person, but I watched He-Man Masters of the Universe, and it was really good. Revelations was really well done. The storyline was great. Jam, I thought the character models were good for Beast Wars characters, and I like the idea of G1 Beast Wars characters living in the same timeline. That was actually one of my top things on my positives was the crossover. I thought that was really good. Haven't seen it, but heard good things. Oh, okay. I hopefully we didn't ruin it for you. Mariana says, I like how they worked Unicron and Starscream was trying to stop him. Yeah, that's a very good nod to the G1. That's how Starscream was. That's how Unicron was. They definitely worked those in. JM says, such slow talking. They talked like this in every sentence, especially Optimus. It was very annoying. Clinical haven't finished. Oh, okay. Well, sorry for spoiling it for you. Ricky Gregory says, sounds like the Bay movies. Made figures for characters that wasn't in the movies. That's exactly what happened. They made several figures. Actually, let me see. Who did they make? They made Trax, Inferno, Huffer. I don't think any of those appeared in the actual character, in the cartoon. Optimus was voiced by Emo William Shatner. Yeah, basically. Beast Wars Megatron. So some people really didn't like that Beast Wars Megatron voice. I also personally didn't love the voice. I thought some of the voices were okay. Like this one was fine, but some of them were not good at all. Really think Adam is dead. It's going to be a Tila fighting. Oh, I'm not going to get into He-Man here, but I did like the series. If you haven't seen it, it's right now out on Netflix. You can go watch that. Niles franchise, I enjoyed everything except the voice acting. Really wish there were more episodes. There's not a lot of room for character arc. Yeah, they needed more time. Supposedly, and I got this from Bobby, so I'm not going to claim ownership. Bobby said that they did actually ask for more time. And unfortunately, they didn't get the time. So that's unfortunate. I really wish they did get more time for these episodes. Excuse me. Poopanoop says, I would like to recommend the new She-Ra. All right, you guys are already into He-Man here, so I'm going to skip some of these comments. BU3, when it comes to Beast Wars Megatron's voice, we would really want to hear David K's illustrious voice coming out of that dope's mouth. So in case you didn't hear, David K was actually supposed to be at TFCon in October, TFCon in Baltimore. Unfortunately, he's backed out. He's not going to be there. He was replaced by the voice of Optimus Primal, but unfortunately, we're going to be missing David K at TFCon Baltimore, unfortunately. But that would have been great if they had David K on the show. That just would have been an awesome nod. Clinical says Cyberverse is much better. I haven't watched all of Cyberverse. I watched a couple episodes. I'd like to go back and watch it. If I missed your comments, I apologize. I'm trying to get as many comments on the screen as I can. I really appreciate you guys joining and commenting and liking and all the stuff you do to interact. That's what makes me do this. It's more interesting for me personally. I find it interesting that the Beast Wars and G1 characters were in the same scale height-wise rather than being larger and smaller. Yeah, supposedly the Beast Wars characters are much smaller in scale, but in the show, they were basically the same size. So that was interesting. Optimus acting was so wooden, the toy needs to be made out of wood. Yeah, the voice acting, and not only that, but the script. Just the way he acted was really strange. I didn't love Optimus in this. Did Scorponok actually have dialogue? Yeah, Scorponok had dialogue in Earthrise. So if you go back and watch Earthrise, you'll see Scorponok and he has dialogue. Drinking moonshine. No, this is just seltzer. I'm actually a little sick today, so I'm not drinking any alcohol today. But cheers if you are drinking. 3 live stream, what's up? Okay. So what else do you guys think? Any other thoughts? Ricky said, do you think shipping is going to go up for figures? I think shipping will eventually go back down. Unfortunately, right now, the pandemic is picking up again. Things are getting bad again with the variants. So unfortunately, like Loki, they don't have control of all the variants running around. So I think shipping is going to get bad again, unfortunately, especially China. We already have tariffs on things coming from China. So it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. Hopefully next year things get better. We'll see. All right, I'm going to take a few more comments, and then I'm going to do the drawing, and then we're going to call it for tonight. So BBO3 says, Air Razor and Black Arachne kind of surprised me. So what he's talking about there is Air Razor actually saved Black Arachnia. They worked together in the show. They got to a point where they had to work together, and Black Arachnia fell, and Air Razor caught her. And then Black Arachnia kissed Air Razor. Now, so a lot of people say that was just a comedic thing. It wasn't an actual nod to her being a homosexual or anything like that. But some people believe they are a thing. They're an item. I mean, cool if it is, but I don't know the answer to that, honestly. But that was an interesting little thing that happened. Pinocchio Prime, yep. G. Tony says, if we see the arc, we should have seen Rodimus. What I'm interested in is if we've seen the arc transform, does the Nemesis transform? That would be really cool to see. If they make a Nemesis ship, a Titan-class Nemesis ship that actually transforms into a robot. I'd love to see that. I would definitely buy that. 3 live streams have been a while since there's been a tune I like. Yeah, Prime was a pretty good one. So overall, I think I did like the show. There's a lot of things that it needed help with. I'm glad they're doing it. I'd rather have them make it than not make it, but it needs a lot of work. The script, especially, and some of the dialogue needs a lot of work. Clinical says, seriously, season 1 of Cyberverse isn't great, but it's a huge improvement in season 2. I think it's great in season 3. Okay, I only watched season 1, so I'm going to go back and watch season 2. Thanks for that recommendation. I wasn't feeling Dinobot's arc. Tried to make you feel for him and met him. He died, and they wanted you to feel for him. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, that was also a nod back to G1 that happened to Dinobot. You know, not G1, in Beast Wars. So they're trying to reconnect you to that story. I also didn't have any feeling for Dinobot, honestly. I didn't really connect with him. But people who are Beast Wars fans definitely connected with that. Need to continue Cyberverse. Yeah, me too. All right, I'll take one more comment, and then that's it. One last thing. If you didn't know, Black Lightning and Silverbolt were a thing in Beast Wars. Okay. Maybe when she was hearing the wolf sound, she thought it was... Maybe. I didn't know that. That's interesting. All right, one last one. Axbox says the writing was really bad, and so was the direction. Why can't these people select G1 episodes, especially the movie, and see what made that so good? I think it's good for them to try new stuff, right? Try new things. I like the mix-up of the Beast Wars and the G1, but the writing, they've got to improve the writing. The dialogue and the writing needs a lot of work. All right, so I think that's it for comments. Michael Rogers says, I haven't seen all of this season yet, but watching Beast Wars Megatron act like a biatch. Yeah, he's not the best. All right, let's do the drawing, and then I'm going to probably call it for today. So if you haven't already, you have probably 30 seconds to enter. So I'm going to share my screen. So I am on WooBox. So I'm basically going to my Facebook page, and there's a post that says, join me for live discussion. You can also enter the giveaway right here on this post. USA and Canada only, international will need to cover shipping. So let's see. All right, there are 7 comments on there. So 7 of you entered this contest. I'll do the drawing right now. Let me just do one more refresh. All right. So here's all you guys who entered. Michael Winters, a few other people here. All right, so we'll pick a winner off of comments. You can only have 1 comment per entry. And we'll go ahead and pick. And let's see who won. Nihar. Oh, I'm going to not be able to say that. Nihar Bhatt. Congratulations. Hopefully you live in the United States. If you don't, I'm going to pick a second winner just in case, because I'm not sure if you do or don't. So I'll pick another one. All right. So Nihar Bhatt, you are the winner of this right here. If you aren't in the United States, then Michael Winters, you're going to be the second winner. Okay. And actually, if you're both in the United States, I have 2 of these, so I can actually give 2 away. But I will message you guys and find out your details. So don't worry about that. I will message you on my Facebook page. So thanks for entering. Thanks for everybody for the comments, the likes, and subscribes. We're heading to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. There's a question. How do you enter the giveaways? All my giveaways are done on my Facebook page. So I usually link that Facebook page in my videos. So you can just click the link in the description and you can enter. All right. So yeah, so I'll be sending this out to those 2 folks, or at least one of them, depending on where they live. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you guys for joining. And I will do more giveaways in the future. So just keep an eye out on my Facebook page. I usually announce it here on YouTube and then do the drawing on Facebook. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.